There are a number of things that talented staff look for in a job to make it satisfying and fulfilling. In this episode, we'll review a number of them and what's important about them. Hi, I'm Rick Kendall.
And I'm Fred Ball.
Welcome to Management Mastery. The purpose of these podcasts is to share what each of us has learned about good and bad management in our combined over 40 years of experience, both as managers and executive coaches. During that time, we've coached managers at every level in companies from Fortune 100s to brand new startups in all major businesses, including nonprofits, government, and education. So whether you're just starting in your first management position or are an experienced manager looking to strengthen your management skills, we know our podcast will be valuable to you.
In the last podcast, we talked about the importance of talent to the company and to your department. We talked about the process of identifying talent and the fact that it's not always easy to do. And we talked about the importance of the commitment to develop talent. And now what we want to do is we want to talk about what talented people want.
Well, I would put at the top of the list, Fred, that they want recognition. We all want recognition. And a lot of times they may act like that's not important to them, that they don't need praise. But that's not true. And by the way, there are talented people who are quite introverted. And one of the challenges of a good manager is to find those people and recognize them publicly. Everyone needs praise when they do good work, but only if it's true. And they want to receive it on a regular basis. And this doesn't mean we have to ring a gong when they do something, but when they've done something that's important, or if it's an ongoing project and it's going well, it's always a good idea to let everybody know that's what's happening in staff meetings and general conversations, especially if you're talking with your boss and in front of the talented person, saying, well, so-and-so is doing a great job, you should just know about it. And it also says to the person that you're aware of what they are doing. Too often, we take the talented people for granted that, they know they're doing a good job, so I don't have to say it. No, that's wrong. You need to say it so they know that you're seeing it. Performance reviews are obviously a place to underscore all of that, but don't just rely on those. Those happen once or twice a year, and people need to know they're being recognized and appreciated all the time.
It's tough to generalize, but one of the things that I have found in coaching people who work in highly technical areas, it could be engineering, it could be banking, it could be operations, it could be marketing, it could be doctors or lawyers. And what sometimes happens, which is very frustrating to people who report to them, is that the manager has the attitude, look, you come here, you're talented, you're technical, and you do the job. And that's their position, that they don't have to give recognition, that you do the job, and when the job is done, people will recognize that it's done, and that's just not the case. Then we want to move on to work. And here, talented people want 3 or 4 things. They want to understand their role and how it contributes to the company's success. They want to know what is expected of them. And they want to have the equipment and materials to accomplish the work. And they want to know that the work that they're doing is important to the success of the company. And probably the most important thing of all is that they want the opportunity to do what they do best every day. And this is where in the coaching that Rick and I do is we get into some complex discussions with people when they don't feel that they're doing the work that they do best every day, or probably more likely they don't get to do as much a percentage of that what they do best every day as they'd like to do.
Yeah, that makes work very fulfilling when you're doing what you enjoy doing and that you're good at. Along those lines, Fred, it's also, and we don't think about this a lot of the time, but is the company and what it does consistent with my own personal values? I think that's something that is also important. Now, the manager doesn't necessarily have a lot of control over that, but I think the manager needs to be sensitive to that, particularly amongst their talented people, because sometimes it's a matter of positioning and understanding what the company is really doing.
That can also be an issue when situations change. I've had situations where I've been coaching and the person has been very happy in their role, the company has been doing things that are consistent with their values, and then there's a change in senior management due to various conditions and a change of direction that on certain instances has caused real problems for the person that I've been coaching when they see the change of direction and feel that the new direction is not consistent with their values. And in those situations, you sometimes get into a situation that they either can change the way that they, their own structure, or they may need to change and find another job.
Well, that sort of goes along with also the kind of the interpersonal relationships. Those are always important to everyone, but particularly to talented people, again, because they've got options. And they want to feel that their coworkers are committed to quality work, are bright, and happy to have the talented person on the team. And there, the manager can play a role in making sure that the interpersonal relationships are positive and dealing with any kind of negativity that might creep in. And you want to make sure that the talented person feels that their opinions are listened to and respected by you, the other members of the team, and even senior management. And they want team support. They want to feel that they are a member of the team, a valued member of the team, and appreciated for that. And also, you want to create, as a manager, an atmosphere where people feel collegial, where you want to encourage bonding kinds of exercises, so they feel they have friends at work, that they look forward to going to work for that as well.
When you think about it, think about the situation where someone is working, a talented person, and they feel that their manager cares about them. And then there's a change of boss. And we've discussed this in podcasts in the past, but when the change of boss comes in, if the new boss does not have the same sense of caring about people and show that sense of caring, then it can cause a real issue. And so if you're the manager and you're coming in, you want to find out how the person interacted before you and what you need to learn from that.
Yeah, that's really important that you understand kind of what the social atmosphere was before you came on the scene, whether good or bad. But particularly if it was good, you don't want to do anything to change that, because you're going to be evaluated by your staff on that. Gee, it was a lot nicer around here before so-and-so showed up. They also are, back to our talented staff in particular, they want opportunities to take on projects and assignments that give them the opportunity to grow intellectually and technically, so that they can acquire new skills. And they want to feel that you're allowing them to determine how much how to accomplish the work, and give them the freedom to do the assignment and not micromanage them.
In surveys that have been done, providing intellectual and creative challenges for highly talented people is one of the most important things that you can do as a manager.
Yeah, absolutely, and giving that kind of feedback and giving those kinds of challenges is so important. And you've got to make sure that you talk to your talented staff regularly, at least once or twice a year, in addition to their regular reviews, where you talk about their progress, how they're growing, and even where you want them to go developmentally in the upcoming months.
When we look at work-life balance, this depends upon who the talented person is and how much flexibility you have. But talented people often want flexibility in working when, where, and how it suits them, and to get growth opportunities by growth opportunities, I'm talking about opportunities to perhaps study or do some other kinds of things. But in the work-life balance, I coached a fellow who was proud of the fact that he never took his vacation, and we talked about it, and we spoke about the importance of taking that vacation, and he went home and spoke with his wife about it, and he came back and it said to me, this has actually helped my marriage. My wife has been on me to take vacation time, and I have started to take some more vacation time. So really important to keep that in mind.
Oh, absolutely. And as manager, I think we talked about this before, it's important that you keep your eye on the individual work-life balance of your staff, particularly your talented staff, because if they're enjoying the work and finding it fulfilling, they can overdo it, as it were, and spend an inordinate amount of time at the office when it's not necessary. And it's up to you to encourage them to spend a little more time with the family in a way that they don't see that as a negative, but as a positive. Along those lines, we also have to be aware of, and to the extent that the manager has control or input into it, the whole issue of compensation. Lots of companies have rules about not disclosing your salary to people, but that's a myth. Everybody knows. You have to assume that everybody knows what everybody makes, and everybody knows roughly what comparable positions are paid in other companies. So you've got to always be, particularly with your most talented people, because as we said before, that they are most vulnerable to being poached by outside companies. They also know what's going on, and it's important to them. So you have to do whatever you can to ensure that they are compensated fairly, and make them aware, even if it's not possible at a particular time to adjust their salary, to make sure they understand that you're aware of it, you're concerned about it, and you're trying to do what you can to improve their situation.
That point is critical. People watch and they want to see that the manager cares about them, knows about the marketplace, and is doing everything they can to help them to move forward. In this podcast, we've been talking about what talented people want. They want recognition, They want to understand the role that they're doing and how they're contributing. We talked about the right fit, interpersonal relationships, growth and development, work-life balance, and pay.
We hope you have found this podcast useful and will come back again for more management mastery. If you have any comments about this or any of our episodes, or would like to find out more about our other services, including one-on-one coaching and group seminars for managers, visit our website at careercoachclass.com. Thanks for listening.